G'day and welcome back to the Performance by Design Institute. Emil here with another session today on the power of reviews and pulling out weeds. Okay, so working in the pro sports space, one thing that is so consistent in their week to week, even day-to-day operations are reviews. They are absolutely constant. In a lot of organisations and pro sports teams, you'll see they'll even spend days reviewing performance, game footage, different plays they're running, where people are standing is at the right spot, consistently reviewing performance so that next time we play, we are better. Now, we don't have that novelty, if you will, inside of the corporate space, but we do know 25 years working in the corporate space and building high-performing teams and cultures, we think that and we see that reviews, and I'm not talking about annual individual reviews, I'm talking about reviewing how are we going? What behaviours are driving our performance forward and improving, and what are the things inside of our organisation that are holding us back from both the behaviour, structural perspective. In the corporate space, misunderstood and underestimated. So here's a very simple way by which to implement a system of reviews inside your organisation so you pull out some weeds. We'll talk about weeds in a minute. Scheduling. Setting time in the schedule to actually spend the time to review how are we doing what we are doing. And the simple structure you can implement is to do what we've helped to nickname a team review, okay? You can nickname it whatever you want, but these three fundamental questions can really help you review previous work. And it might be a project, it might just be a period of time, it might be inside a particular department, it might even be department to department. But these three questions are really powerful. What's working, what's not, and what can we do better? Often what's not and what we can do better kind of merge, but occasionally when you ask the question what's not, you can really identify what we need to stop right now, okay? What's working, what's not, what we can do better. I'll have a download PDF of a very simple document you can use inside of your teams. What's important though when you do something like this exercise inside of your business structure is you want to reflect, and you want the team to be able to reflect and connect to gather patterns in the data. So I would suggest you have small groups of 4 or 5, complete the team reviews. If you've got a team of 25, you've got 4 or 5 groups, enable them to reflect, enable them to share and connect across the table, and then you're able to share across the rest of the group, okay? So now you're going to start to gather some patterns, and this is where the analogy of weeds comes into play. There'll be patterns in the data that say that these things are working, so we want to do more of that. There'll be patterns in the data that say this is not working, so we should just stop right now. But there'll also be patterns around what we can do better. And that enables you then to create a plan and pull out weeds. So I used to be a young fella back in Monthaggy many years ago. I used to mow a lot of people's lawns. And back in the bush there, we used to have these dandelions that used to wreck the look of the lawn. But if you mowed over them, you actually got a pretty good result. They still look green, you just got rid of the big dandelion that stuck out. But one day my dad gave me this tool, which was basically the weed, I just called it the weed pronger. And you get the tool and you actually can get in there and you can pull the weed out from the root. But what that did is it left a big black gaping hole in the lawn, so good green on either side. And so what has to happen here is, if you gather enough patterns from the data from your team, you'll be able to identify what are these weeds you want to pull out from the root. So you need to create a plan, knowing full well that for the next 5 to 6 weeks, the lawn's not going to look great. You've got to give time for that grass to grow back so that you let that new lawn grow through, and now you've got a more beautiful lawn, if you will, a more efficient workspace, a more productive organisation. Review, consistently schedule reviews around what's working, what's not, what can we do better. Enable the team to reflect and connect in small groups. Share that data, grab those patterns, identify the weeds, build a plan to pull them out, and know that the lawn, your business, is not going to look all that great for a period of time until you let the new grass grow through. The power of reviews and pulling out weeds. If you've got any questions or comments, please post them here or give us a buzz. My name's Emil from the Performance by Design Institute.